Chapter 15. I'm sorry. I'm afraid it isn't good news. There is a break in the fourth metatarsal. Santiago slumped back in the hospital bed, put both hands to his head, and groaned. It was all so horribly familiar. A terrible injury as the World Cup finals were approaching. Last time, back in 2006, an injury had prevented him from playing any part in the finals. And now, with a metatarsal break, an injury that all soccer players dread, it looked as though lightning had struck in the same place twice. Santi's thoughts flew back to the summer of 2006 and the last World Cup finals. He'd been at home with Roz, watching the matches on TV, nursing a broken arm sustained in a stupid training ground accident. The heavy plaster cast had been with him throughout the most frustrating few weeks of his entire life, seeing his friends, clubmates, and opponents all playing in the greatest tournament in soccer while he could do nothing more than watch. And now it looked as though it could happen all over again. There were still about 4 months to go before the finals, but metatarsal breaks could take many months to heal completely. Wayne Rooney had suffered the injury twice, first to the fifth metatarsal and then to the fourth, and many other top players had also suffered metatarsal breaks. David Beckham, Steven Gerrard, Ledley King, Gary Neville, and Michael Owen were just a few of the famous players who had struggled for months to recover. And now the name of Santiago Muñez could be added to that illustrious list. Santiago was hardly listening. His thoughts were all centered on his World Cup dreams being shattered as the specialist continued to speak. The bone will take some time to recover, but in some ways you have been fortunate. What? Said Santi, hearing the word fortunate. How do you work that out? How could I have been fortunate? The specialist spoke slowly. He wanted to ensure that Santi understood exactly what lay ahead. Metatarsals are the 5 long bones in the forefoot. They connect the ankle bones to the bones in the toes. The first metatarsal is linked to the big toe, and the 5th links to the little toe. With me so far? Santi nodded. Yeah. And the metatarsals act as a unit to help share the load of the body. They move position to cope with uneven ground. You said I'd be fortunate, said Santi impatiently. What exactly does that mean? The specialist wasn't going to be rushed. The 4th is one of the inner bones, he answered calmly. I worked that one out for myself. Which means, continued the specialist, completely unruffled, that its recovery can be aided by a sort of splint effect of the bones on either side. Santi said nothing for a moment, slowly taking in the information he had been giving. So, the break could clear up more quickly than if it was an outer metatarsal? The specialist nodded. Exactly. It could, but it would be a long process. How long? I can't predict that. Not yet, said the specialist. But the World Cup finals, they start in 15 or 16 weeks. Do I have a chance of playing? The specialist didn't answer. I've got to know, said Santi urgently. Do I have a chance? I'm making no promises, said the specialist finally. But yes, you have a chance. End of chapter 15.